Hello, everyone, and welcome to the City of Atlanta's virtual public meeting of ActivateATL, our brand new Parks and Recreation 10-year planning campaign. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are just going to take a moment before starting so that we can give everybody a chance to connect. So please stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the City of Atlanta's virtual public meeting for ActivateATL, our brand new Parks and Recreation 10-year planning campaign. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My name is Tara Buckner, Master Plan Project Manager from the Department of Parks and Recreation, and I'm here today with LaShondra Burks, Interim Commissioner of the Department of Parks and Recreation, Keith Hicks, Director of Park Design, Aaron Weiner, Landscape Architect, Carlos Perez with Perez Planning and Design, and Sabina Kasimova, our colleague at Park Pride. So let's go ahead and get started. I will pass it over to LaShondra Burks, Interim Commissioner of the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Tara, and hello, everyone. My name is LaShondra Burks. We are here to get to know you, your hopes and dreams for your Atlanta Parks and Recreation. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is a master plan? And why should I even be a part of it? Well, master planning is a technique that is generally used to identify parks and recreation needs in the community, predict future demand, and build a shared vision and framework for long-term parks and recreation system development. We've invested a tremendous amount of resources and effort into this public engagement campaign with the goal of hearing the opinions of more Atlantans than ever before, from all ages, backgrounds, and zip codes, especially those of you we don't always hear from. After the workshop, please be sure to complete our online survey at ActivateATL.com. This is the most important part, and it will only take about 15 minutes. Listening to everyone will build a better parks and recreation system over the next 10 years. Let's take a moment to watch a short introductory video that shows some of the ways that ActivateATL will work to get your opinions and put them into action.
Atlantans are resilient. As we weather these trying times together, we're reminded each day of just how precious recreational activities are with friends and family, how much of an impact parks and green spaces make on all of our lives. Through all of it, the City of Atlanta's Department of Parks and Recreation is here, continuing to serve you and your loved ones while planning for an even better Atlanta tomorrow. Our team is operating round the clock to continue serving meals to Atlanta students at our Centers of Hope program during school closures, working hard to maintain our parks to ensure Atlanta's residents have opportunities to enjoy sunshine, breathe fresh air, connect with nature, engage in safe exercise, and see friends and neighbors in our parks at a safe distance, as these opportunities are vital to our mental and physical health. But we need you to build a better tomorrow together. That's why we launched ActivateATL, Recreation and Parks for All, a 10-year planning effort that relies on learning about your unique priorities, needs, and perceptions to preserve what you love about your parks and recreation system and to grow it to make it even better. Our most important goal is to offer you access to safe, exceptional outdoor spaces and recreational experiences that serve your needs and ultimately improve the health and happiness of all Atlantans in all neighborhoods. But we need your help. We can only accomplish our dream of building a greater and greener Atlanta with you. Help us design a new vision for our parks and recreation system over the next decade. Fill out our brief survey or attend a virtual public input workshop to share your opinions and to activate ATL. Only together we can deliver the dream of one Atlanta, an Atlanta where we all have an equal opportunity to play, run, grow, learn, interact with nature and each other.
Awesome video. Thank you again for joining us to Activate ATL. This workshop is part of a larger series of community input, and each workshop will highlight a different area of the city. There is nothing quite like discovering a new green space or learning about new recreational programs, and we want to support you in discovering all that Atlanta has to offer. Today's workshop theme is Southwest Atlanta, and we will highlight a few of the parks and amenities in this area later on. Today marks our 8th virtual public meeting out of 12, so please feel free to come back and join another one, and tell your friends. Each meeting will highlight a different area of the city. Our last 2 meetings on July 18th will actually be in all Spanish. No matter where you live, work, or play, we still want to hear from you and about all of your parks and recreation activities. For now, let's start by covering why your opinion matters so much to Activate ATL. Then we will show you all the ways you can give us feedback. We will be doing some fun live polling, so stay tuned for details. We'll also set aside time as part of this workshop for a live Q&A with Carlos Perez, our local lead on this project from Perez Planning and Design. Please send us all your questions about Activate ATL now. We want to hear from you. We don't just want folks to answer our questions, but we want to answer your questions too. You can ask us anything. For example, what is a master plan? Why does this matter to me? What will you do with my feedback from the survey? Or any other questions that you can think of. Thank you again for your participation. And now I will hand the presentation over to Aaron Weiner, who's with our Office of Park Design. Aaron?
Thank you, LaShondra. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a little housekeeping. Let's start by looking at our new project website for Activate ATL. We got lots of information to go through, but if you only take one thing away from today's workshop, please take our online survey. It is the single best to decide what our Atlanta Parks and Recreation offering should look like over the next 10 years. You can get to our online survey from ActivateATL.com by scrolling down on the homepage and clicking on the link that says, "Take the survey now." Once you've taken this short survey, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a limited edition Activate ATL t-shirt and other fun giveaways. We're streaming on a few different platforms. We're on Zoom, we're live on the Department of Parks and Recreation Facebook page, and streaming directly on our project website at ActivateATL.com. Please send us all of your questions through this webinar. If you are watching on Facebook Live, please send us any questions by commenting on the Facebook Live video to the right of the screen. If you're watching on ActivateATL website, please email any questions or comments to activate-atl@atlantanga.gov. We've also sent out this email address in the chat box. If you're using Zoom, please note that your lines are muted. However, that doesn't mean we can't interact in real time. Take a look at the buttons on the bottom of the Zoom screen for the Q&A box and the chat box. If you want to ask us a question, click the Q&A button, type in your question, and click send. If you want to chat with us directly, send us a message in the chat box and we'll respond. Now, let's get activated. some of our community members sent in some footage about facts of Atlanta parks and recreation. Let's check out one of those videos now.
Hi, my name is Sophia Borg. I serve as a Community Engagement Director here with the Sarah J. Gonzales Park, which is the first park in the state of Georgia to be named after a person of Latinx heritage. The park is also ADA accessible, has an ethnobotanical garden featuring plants from all over Latin America, and is located in the northwest part of Atlanta. Did you know that the City of Atlanta maintains more than 400 parks and green spaces, totaling 4,962 acres? That's a lot. A big thank you to all of the parks employees who work to keep these spaces for us to enjoy, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
They don't call Atlanta a city in the forest for nothing. Atlanta's urban tree canopy leads the nation. Nearly 48% of Atlanta is covered by an urban tree canopy, placing Atlanta above other major cities in the United States. I'm going to pass it off to my colleague Keith Hicks so he can chime in.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Hicks, Director of Park Design. Part of our goal for ActivateATL is to help maintain Atlanta's green city in a forest status as one of its greatest assets, protecting, growing, and transforming Atlanta's distinct landscapes into public amenities for all Atlantans to enjoy. Here at the Department of Parks and Recreation, we have organized the city's parks and recreation offerings into 4 different quadrants, each with a plethora of amenities from outdoor courts to fields and pavilions. Today's workshop will highlight areas closest to Southwest Atlanta. Southwest Atlanta includes neighborhoods such as Adair Park, Adams Park, Audubon Forest, Collier Heights, Mechanicsville, Ben Hill, Perkinson, Pittsburgh, and many others. Adams Park, Ben Hill Park, Deerwood Park, John A. White Park, Reverend James Orange Park, Perkinson Park, Pittman Park, Roselle Fan, and West Manor Park all have pavilions. Adair Park, Cleophas R. Johnson Park, Collier Park, Harwell Heights Park, Melvin Drive Park, and West End Park all have basketball courts. Adams Park, Wilson Mill Park, and Isabel Gates Webster Park have outdoor tennis courts. There's no shortage of fields in Southwest Atlanta. West End Park and Wilson Mill Park all have sports fields. Southwest Atlanta also has 5 centers of hope: C.A. Scott, Adams Park, Anthony Flanagan Memorial, William Walker, and C.T. Martin. And just as an FYI, Centers of Hope are high-performing recreation centers with enhanced youth development. Here we're looking at some of the parks and recreational facilities in Southwest Atlanta. Be sure and check out DPR's website for further information on the city's amenities. And now I'd like to turn it over to Tara Buckner, who's going to tell you more about why we want to hear from you.
Thanks, Keith. Now let's talk ActivateATL. I want to provide you with some background information about who is helping us, DPR staff, develop ActivateATL, how they're doing it, and how they will ensure that your input is reflected in the final plan. ActivateATL is a big effort because it will look at the entire system of citywide parks and recreational offerings. Public engagement for ActivateATL is being funded through a generous grant from a local philanthropy and spearheaded in partnership with Park Pride, the 30-year-old Atlanta-based nonprofit that engages communities to activate the power of parks. ActivateATL will ultimately provide a 10-year vision for evaluating our facilities, programs, and services, acquiring and developing parkland, taking a closer look at our maintenance and operation, and even as well as our overall administration and management. ActivateATL will also identify important funding recommendations to help elevate Atlanta's park and recreation into a world-class system. Taking the survey on our website, ActivateATL.com, will have a direct influence on programming and activities that take place in local recreation centers and in parks. Strengthen what Atlantans love about recreational activities in their neighborhood parks, and identify crucial opportunities for growth. So please be sure to take the survey. Now, equity is a driving force of ActivateATL, and it is designed to further Mayor Bottom's vision for One Atlanta, where all Atlanta residents will have equitable access to high-quality parks and recreational activities that will meet their needs and promote health, well-being, and quality of life. Metro Atlanta is the fourth fastest growing area in the country. And while most of the growth is in the suburbs, there are estimates that the city of Atlanta could triple in population over the next 30 years. And that means more parks and recreation users. The purpose of ActivateATL is to lay out a series of recommendations for the future of Atlanta's recreation and parks, and to work to implement that vision for Atlanta over the next 10 years. The project team right now is reviewing all existing conditions of Atlanta's parks and recreation, which includes things like availability and the quality of amenities such as playgrounds, ball fields, restrooms, benches, and everything in between. Taken together with your input from the survey, the project team will then work to create a plan that addresses your needs and the city's challenges. We'll come back to you with this plan for a second wave of public engagement soon, to confirm that we heard you correctly and to invite further feedback and input. In the meantime, please join us for our other virtual meetings, and be sure to take our online survey. Now, the survey is only available until July 24th, so please fill it out before then. Based on the following things that we hear from you, we will further refine to develop the master plan, which will ultimately be presented to the City Council for review and adoption. Your ideas will help us decide what upgrades to invest in, what new classes to offer, and where to add new green spaces for you to enjoy. Now, that's a lot to remember, but remember, if you have any questions about ActivateATL, please send them our way using the Zoom Q&A box, Facebook, or just email us at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov. Now that we've covered some background information about how we're developing ActivateATL, let's go to some polling questions. Get your phones and computers ready now. You can participate in the live polling by sending a text message to 22333 or by visiting pollev.com/ActivateATL207 from any web browser. Don't worry, you don't need to download anything. Simply open up your internet browser on any device right now and head to pollev.com/ActivateATL207, and all of our questions will sync here automatically. So all you have to do is respond with one tap. If you prefer to respond by texting, please start a new text message. You'll enter 22333 into the to line and write ActivateATL207 in the body of the text. You only need to send this text once to start polling. After you send this one text to start the conversation, you can simply text in your answer each time you see us move to a new question. You won't receive confirmation of a confirmation text after each response, but rest assured that your answers are being received. Answers will populate for us to see in real time. After 30 seconds, we will review the live polling responses to see if we can find any trends. If you have any questions or technical difficulties, please send them to us in the chat message. So let's get started with our first polling question. Given the recent COVID-19 crisis, how has the importance of parks, trails, open spaces, and recreation changed for you and your family? We'll leave 30 seconds for responses to roll in. Don't forget, you can participate in the polling at pollev.com/ActivateATL207 or by texting the phrase ActivateATL207 to 22333. And all you need to do is text in the letter of your choice. So let's see what we're looking at. All of these polling questions are being recorded, so we'll have them to review in depth afterwards too. So again, the question is, given the recent COVID-19 crisis, how has the importance of parks, trails, open spaces, and recreation changed for you and your family? A would mean their importance has increased a lot. B, their importance has increased a little bit. C, no change. D, their importance has decreased a little bit. And E, their importance has decreased a lot. Okay, I'm seeing that their importance has increased a lot. Some are saying no change. Okay. Okay, this is, oh. Their importance has increased a lot, has increased again. Okay. Okay, just again, you can respond at pollev.com/ActivateATL207 or text ActivateATL207 to 22333, and then just text A, B, C, D, or E. Okay. Okay. I see a lot of people are saying that their importance has increased a lot. It's really amazing to see how much impact green spaces have had in our lives, especially over the last few months. In fact, parks and recreation systems like ours in Atlanta can make a big impact on our everyday health. Did you know that just spending time in parks can improve you and your family's health? It's true. Interaction with nature is consistently shown to be one of the most effective medicines for warding off depression, stress, anxiety, improving mood, strengthening the immune system, and promoting cognitive development, learning capacity, and restoration. During quarantine, safely exercising at a distance in your public park is an excellent way to improve your health. When it's safe, Atlanta Recreation Centers will continue to offer an incredible range of activities that you will love. Now, we've actually received several questions on when various amenities will open, such as playgrounds, outdoor pools, and even courts. Just a couple of weeks ago, DPR was able to open some of our amenities with limitations in place. These include the indoor pools, golf, and tennis courts. Our Office of Recreation also launched free virtual summer camp, which streams daily through Facebook and Zoom. Decisions for additional amenities, either opening or requiring a different course of action, will be based on data and in coordination with the mayor's office in alignment with the city's phased reopening plan. You can be sure to find the latest updates on DPR's website as well as DPR's social media platforms. Now let's get back to the polling questions. On this point, let's talk about virtual programming. What type of virtual programming would you or your family be most likely to enjoy if we offered it? Virtual hikes and tours, virtual summer camp, virtual fine arts and drawing classes, virtual fitness classes, or something else? And please give us the details of something else. I see there's great interest in the fitness classes, okay, fine arts and drawing. Other. And we are collecting your information on what that other is, so go ahead and write that in. Just a reminder, you can participate at pollev.com/ActivateATL 207 or text message at 22333 ActivateATL 207. Okay, oh, I see. Nature hikes and tours is rising. Okay. Wow, these are really great. So this input is exactly what we need to improve our parks and assess where we can prioritize what types of programming DPR can offer. Now let's try a fun word cloud polling question. Text or respond in just one word. What is your favorite thing to do at your local park and or recreation center? You see run. So a lot of people that enjoy running. Walking. Walking, running. I like it the other way. I like to run, walk, start out running, then walk. Let's see. Run, walk, run, walk. Meditate. Picnics. Okay. Okay, more runners, some gardening, enjoying the grass, just gathering, exercising. Oh, someone enjoys the history of the parks. That's very fun too. Nature, swimming. Okay. And people are enjoying the playgrounds as well. They're so beautiful here in Atlanta. Grandchildren in the park. I love that. Okay. Just being active in the park. Okay. Most excellent. Thank you for your responses, because we want to make sure that we are providing things that are important to you. So thank you for your answers. Did you know that the Atlanta Department of Parks and Recreation puts out a catalog 4 times a year that describes all the centers of hope, seasonal events, after-school programming, summer camps, classes and activities you can participate in? It's true. From golfing to arts and crafts to Zumba and even pickleball, there are so many diverse and affordable activities that are offered that engage everyone from our youth to our seniors and everyone in between. You can register for all of this at iParks on the DPR website. Giving us your opinion can help us identify neighborhoods with the greatest need, helping us to invest programming and assets that benefit the greatest number of residents. So I will wrap up by saying, let's activate ATL. With that, I will pass it on to Sabina Kasimova, our colleague from Park Pride.
Thank you, Tara, and thank you again so much to everyone for joining us today. As a reminder, if you have any questions at all about ActivateATL, please send them our way. If you're using Zoom, send them in using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you're on Facebook, send us a comment using the comment box to the right of the video. Or if you're watching on the ActivateATL website, email them to us directly at activate-atl@atlantagA.gov. We will answer all of these questions in our live Q&A session happening shortly. There are so many ways to reach us and tell us your opinion. We have actually created and mailed out a survey to more than 8,000 City of Atlanta households at random. And we will use those results when we create our plan. So if you happen to receive a letter in the mail, please do us a huge favor by responding to the questions and mailing it on back to us. There is a self-addressed stamped envelope in there, so you can. The same input can also be provided by completing our online survey at activate-atl.com. Have you heard about the online survey yet? I'm just kidding. Of course you've heard about the online survey. So just one more time, please be sure to take the survey on our website because that's the single best way for us to hear directly from you. And as an added bonus, if you complete the online survey, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a limited edition ActivateATL t-shirt, and it looks like this. So yeah. They are very, very cool. We're super excited about the t-shirts and we're looking forward to sending those out. So please complete our online survey. If you're a winner, we'll notify you by email by August 1st. So now, instead of just talking about gathering your input, let's see and hear some more of it. In our recent call for interviews, we asked you to send us your videos to tell us about your favorite activities in parks, green spaces, trails, and at recreation centers, and what you want to see and do in the future. So let's take a look here now.
What I love about parks and trails is the peacefulness, the tranquility. It's analog. I can slow down all of the stimulus and just hone in and focus on me. An opportunity to just relax my mind and be peaceful.
Centers because it's free fun and I come here with my friends to play basketball. My favorite activity to do at a park is play with my dog and throw the frisbee.
I am a big runner and I love being active, getting outside, running a lot. So I would say really expanding our running trail network. That's something I would love to see in our parks.
I think the glass half full part of the pandemic is it has given us time to kind of think out of what we usually would do and take advantage of the great parks that the city of Atlanta has. There's a lot more than we even realized.
Basically, it just helps me get out the house and do something else for a change because before we didn't really have time to do this, so it's kind of new for us, but it's fun.
I I had no idea that the Office of Recreation offered these types of activities like kayaking, doing karate, Zumba classes, and I think for me, I want to check it out as soon as this pandemic is over.
The best park in the world would have to be intergenerational. You have to have something for senior citizens to down to mothers with infant babies.
I love coming out to Cascade Springs because it's a chance to be out in nature right within Atlanta. And it's also a great opportunity to see people in the community sitting out and reflecting and just enjoying nature. I love seeing that.
Join me to ActivateATL.
Juntos podemos activar Atlanta. ActivateATL.
Join us to ActivateATL.
Amazing. We are so appreciative of everybody who took the time in to send us a video, and especially to our youth who make up such a big majority of our Parks and Rec users. We definitely want to make sure that their needs are met too. So, speaking of specific parks, let's jump back into some polling questions on this. Again, speaking of specific parks, how would you say that you feel about your local parks and or the recreational activities offered? Again, a reminder, you can respond to these questions at pollev.com/ActivateATL207 or just text ActivateATL207 to 22333. So A, you're very satisfied, you love them, you wouldn't change a thing. B is you're satisfied, you enjoy the parks and or activities offered. C is you're unsure, and again, please send us all your questions. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. D is you're dissatisfied. They could be improved and or more interesting activities could be offered. And E is very dissatisfied. You would change lots of things. So currently I see here that it's actually about a three-way split. 29% are satisfied, 29% are dissatisfied, and 29% are very dissatisfied. And we have 14% unsure. Now we're up to 38% satisfied, which is good, but we are glad that all of you are here. Whether you're satisfied, whether you're dissatisfied, we want to know exactly what it is that you love and what you would like to improve so we can know exactly how to make your experience better. So we really appreciate all of your great feedback here. Currently, we're at 25% each for dissatisfied and very dissatisfied, which again, we're so grateful for your feedback so we can know exactly how to improve to make Parks and Recreation the best that it can be for you. 38% or 33% now are satisfied, which is also good, but we can make it even better for you. So we appreciate your great feedback here on this. We actually have very exciting news now that we're talking about specific parks. We are excited to announce that we have just launched our brand new app called Happy Feet Atlanta Parks. So it is now available in the App Store for iOS and Android. It includes a ton of information about ActivateATL, how to contact us, and links to our survey. But most importantly, it allows you to connect with us directly to send us your feedback about specific parks and amenities, everything about a specific bench to a specific piece of playground equipment. You can take a photo, you can record a video, and you can submit all of that information to us directly with some feedback explaining what your thoughts are about it. Again, the app is completely free. So once you download the app, you simply select your park, enter your feedback, upload a photo or video, and we will receive all of this information directly to review. So we really hope you will download the app. Again, it's called Happy Feet Atlanta, and give it a try. It's such a great way for us to hear directly from you and to see exactly what you're talking about. We're very excited and we hope you enjoy it. And we definitely look forward to hearing from you and hope you try it out. So with that, let's jump back into our polling questions here. Earlier, we had talked about the importance of understanding needs and priorities for facilities and programs. So this polling question is related to parks and recreation amenities. Amenities are any desirable or useful feature in a building or place. So here, this can refer to the availability of green spaces, sports fields, recreation centers, and more. So this is a write-in question. You can write in anything at all that you want. We just only ask that you don't pick more than 3, so that will help us prioritize what's most important to you. The big thing to note is other. So you can always select other. If there's anything on your mind that you want us to know, send it in here. Just please send us in the details. So to get the conversation jump started here, we gave a couple of options. So here, option A is trails and sidewalks. Option B is adventure sports. So that could be a skate park, mountain biking, rock climbing. C is natural spaces, natural areas. D is outdoor play spaces. E is indoor performing arts spaces. And F is other. So I see we already got a vote with other. So gardening is very great to see. That is awesome. I've definitely noticed a trend recently with trails and sidewalks. That's awesome. We got another vote for other. So historic sites and cemeteries. That aligns earlier with the feedback about history in the park. So that's great. Definitely a couple more about trails and sidewalks, also natural spaces and outdoor play spaces. We got another one here for trails and sidewalks. So bike paths, trails also fitting with that trend. Option A coming in, art classes as well. So we'll get into some questions about recreational programming in a moment too. So we will definitely cover that. Bike paths, trails, art classes for adults, that's awesome. We'll leave a few more moments here for responses to roll in. And again, we're saving all of this information. We're going to review it in depth and analyze it when we're developing the plan. So everything we hear from you here will be used to inform those plan recommendations. Dog parks, lots of votes for dog parks, which we love. Awesome, so we can, looks like they've kind of stopped rolling in. We can move on to the next one here. It's very similar. Oh, another vote for trails and sidewalks. So this next one is very similar, just a few more options here. So again, about amenities that are most important to you, but could be better provided. Here we have option A is sports courts. So that is basketball court, tennis court, etc. B is sports fields. So a baseball field, football field, soccer field, etc. C is indoor recreation spaces. So that could be indoor soccer, squash, tennis, indoor basketball, etc. And then again, summer in Atlanta, I'm sure we'll get a couple votes for pools here. So here we have option D is indoor pool, option E is outdoor pool. And again, F is other, so please send us in those details. So we got a sports lover here. We have sports courts and sports fields, as well as an outdoor pool, so that's awesome. Water sports, kayaking, paddleboarding, etc. I love it. Gotcha, definitely restrooms are important. So that is a very fitting category to put this in. So again, we appreciate all your input here. This is so important to us. Indoor recreation spaces, that's great. And yes, we appreciate the specifics too. So we had a vote for sports fields, but specifically track fields. So that's great. And also outdoor pool and indoor recreation spaces. Oh, I see here we have a specific feedback, creek at the site of Webster Park. So that is great. Again, we're going to review all of this in depth after our conversation today. We have mountain bike trails, interpretive signage and maps. That's great. We haven't gotten too much feedback about wayfinding, but also obviously very important amenity that we want to make available. We don't want anyone getting lost, that's for sure. Other, so again, just if you select other, please, please, please send us in those details. Outdoor gardens and access to creeks and lakes, got it. That is awesome. So I think we may have had all our responses roll in here. Thank you again so much for your engagement. These next two questions are similar, again, write-in options, but this is related to recreational programming. So here again, please write in any order up to 3 programs that are most important to you, but could be better provided. So programming, here we have option A, wellness and fitness. That could be yoga, Zumba, Pilates, all of these great fitness and wellness programs that are offered. Earlier, we had a vote for Tai Chi, so that was an interesting one to see. We love all of those details. Running clubs, that's great, definitely very fitting. And we had another track field, so it all aligns here. B is aquatics program, so maybe a learn to swim program. C is sports, so that's great. Wellness and fitness, yoga, definitely please send us those details on specific programs you would like to see. Art classes for adults, I love it. And again, if you select other, we'd love to hear those details. This, the art classes aligns with the virtual programming for earlier. I think one of the main choices was fine arts and drawing classes. So this is great to know. Running groups. We definitely have a lot of runners today. I love it. Adult leagues. So this is awesome. Definitely had a couple for sports, youth mountain biking. So we definitely have votes for adventure sports as well. This is great. Natural spaces, awesome. Career and skills development courses, that is fantastic. We have not had one of those feedback submitted yet in one of our meetings, so that is great to see. Elders in the community. Cooking and nutrition class is awesome, definitely falls into the wellness category. And a couple votes for yoga, I love it. So we'll leave just one more moment here. We do have another question related to programming, so it looks like we may have gotten all our responses here. We can move on to the next one. It is similar to this, but here we have a couple more options about recreational programs. Here we have, again, write in any order, up to 3, most important to you, that could be better provided. So A here is summer camp programs. B is visual and performing arts programs. C is nature programs. D is community special events. And again, other, send us those details. Oh, we got a double exclamation mark on the community events. I love it. Very enthusiastic with the input, and we love to hear that. That is awesome. We definitely want to do all we can to provide these great programming for the community. We have another vote for community events, nature programs, and visual and performing arts. Oh, wow, so we had a couple of those come in that really align there. That's great. I do see one came in with 4. So again, that's the hard part, right? We ask you only pick up to 3 so we can prioritize which ones are most important to you. But that is great. We have another vote, community events, summer camp, visual and performing arts. Wow, we're getting a lot of consistency with that between the community events and the visual and performing arts. Very interesting. And community events specifically for our seniors. So that is great. Yeah, music concerts in the park sound fantastic. Looking forward to a future where we can return to a sense of normalcy and gather together again. Community events. So a lot of consistency there. We'll leave just another second here for the responses to roll in. So this is awesome. Thank you so much for your responses here. This input is fantastic. All of these amenities and programming needs are super important for sure. But here's where planning becomes just a bit more difficult. While all of these needs are very important, we unfortunately cannot address them all simultaneously. So it's really important to prioritize what the public believes needs to be addressed first and foremost. So this next question helps us address these priorities. This is unfortunately the only question that can't be completed by text message, so we did save it for last. It can be completed at pollev.com/ActivateATL207. It's a ranking question. So you would rank, how would you rank the following from most to least important? And it really compares whether you want to build new amenities or expand upon existing amenities. So here the options are, would you build new parks and outdoor recreation facilities, or would you fix existing parks and outdoor recreation facilities? Would you build new indoor recreation and performance or cultural centers, or would you fix existing indoor recreation and performance or cultural centers? Would you build more walking and biking trails, or would you expand existing walking and biking trails? So This is definitely a tough question. It's hard to prioritize. So let's see, we had some responses roll in. Currently in first place, tied for first place, we have oh, we had a switch. So first place right now is fix existing parks and outdoor recreation facilities, and also expand existing walking and biking trails. So that's great. It seems like we definitely have a tie, in the lead is fix what is existing. So fix existing indoor recreation and performance or cultural centers. I'll build more walking and biking trails jumped up to, wow, first place. That was a big shift. So I would say that definitely aligns with the feedback we've been hearing about trails and sidewalks. So now it's tied for first, fix existing parks and build more walking and biking trails. So thank you so much for all of this amazing information. Your participation today and on the online survey is going to make all the difference in how we invest in all of the City of Atlanta's parks, open spaces, and recreational programs in the decade to come. So thank you so much again. And now I'll pass it back to Tara Buckner for our live Q&A session. Reminder, if you have any questions about parks and recreation activities, questions about participating in ActivateATL, or any other questions at all that haven't been answered, please send them our way. You can use the Zoom Q&A feature, comment on the Facebook Live video, or email your questions to us directly at activate-atl@atlantag.gov. So thank you so much again for engaging with us today. Let's work together to activate ATL.
Yay, ActivateATL. Thank you, Sabina. I'm joined here with our colleague, Carlos Perez, our local project manager on the consulting side. Please know that we could not develop the plan without your input, and we want to make sure that all your questions are answered. We will do our best to make it through all the questions this afternoon, but if we're not able to get to your question, please email us at activate-atl@atlantag.gov, and a project team member will follow up with you. So before we start, I think there are many people who ask, when will we be implementing this plan? We hope to come to implementation in the spring. We are in the process of reviewing the existing conditions now. So let's see, Carlos, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. Happy to be.
Hey, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you, Tara? Great job.
Good.
As always.
Yes, this is fun. So our first question is, let's see here. I'm sorry, scrolling through. It's from Erica on Zoom. How do nature preserves such as Cascade Spring, Lionel Hampton fall into the planning?
That's a great question, Erica. And first and foremost, thank you for providing us a question. So as you know, the nature preserves are a very unique part of the system for the City of Atlanta's park system. In fact, a lot of communities that we work with don't have that as a classification. So the fact that the City of Atlanta has it is a very unique thing, and something that we've seen other communities want to provide more of. So as part of the park system, we'll be treating it the same way we would at other parks. We're going to be analyzing it, evaluating them, and then also looking to the public to provide us some comments about them, how they could be improved, how could be enhanced, what things are working, what things are not working. The city currently maintains nature preserves across the city, right? So it is part of the park system. But again, if there's any specific concerns you have, we'd love to hear about them. And a great way to provide that input is through the Happy Feet app that is part of this process. So we encourage you to download it, take a look at it. The app does provide an opportunity for you to provide input both by taking pictures as well as comments. So we look forward to getting your comments about that.
And how about that, the City of Atlanta being so cutting edge with our own app for parks?
Exactly.
So question, how will you look at specific parks in the master plan?
That's another great question. As I think a lot of folks on the call know, or on the Zoom meeting know, Atlanta has a lot of parks. So one of the things we'll be doing is we'll be visiting the parks and evaluating them. In fact, we've already started to do that. So we'll be doing our own evaluation as part of the parks, but then we hope to collect input from you about any specific thoughts that you have about individual parks. And again, the Happy Feet app is a great way to do it and the way to do it for us. So we look forward to receiving your comments.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. We've been receiving a few questions on equity and on some perceived funding and maintenance disparities between Southwest Atlanta and other areas. Carlos, the question is how this plan will address these matters.
Great question. Yeah, I think, so there's a couple of ways to look at that. There's a short-term response, and then there's a long-term response. The short-term response is that the city, the Office of Parks, is responsible for the maintenance of the parks across the city. And it manages all customer concerns, questions in the order that the calls and the emails come in, and no matter where the calls come from, right? So regardless where you live or those calls come in, the city addresses them. So it's all in one work order system. But as we've mentioned, we're really relying on you to be our eyes and ears in the community and let us know if there's something that needs attention. And so let us know. Let us know what those concerns are. That way they can be recorded and addressed in a timely manner. So there's a couple ways to do this. One is to email us. And that email can be sent at, and I'm gonna share this email where it can be sent. It's parkscustomerservice@atlantagA.gov. And we'll insert that in the chat so you have that email. And the other way to do it is through the Happy Feet app. And then we'll include all that information, download it, and review it. So that's the short-term answer. The long-term answer that's part of this planning effort is that equity is a really, really important part of this plan, consistent with Mayor Bottom's One Atlanta. And so we'll be looking at equity in essentially two big ways in the plan. First is through this phase, the needs and priorities phase of the project, where we want to hear from you to collect the input of where equity needs to be addressed. In addition to hearing from you, we're also going to be using other techniques to explore equities and inequities. So one of those is visiting the parks. We'll be visiting all the parks. We're also going to be doing a lot of analysis and data crunching, looking at data from different angles to explore where equities and inequities may exist from a data standpoint. The findings from all those analysis techniques will give us a really good idea of the needs and priorities. So that's this phase, right? Understanding those needs and priorities. Then we're going to look at it on how we can address those equity concerns in the visioning phase. And as was mentioned before, what we'll be doing is going back out to you to do two things. First is to share with you what we've heard to make sure that we've covered everything and that we haven't missed anything. And then we'll also be sharing some potential strategies to address those inequities and getting your thoughts on those. So we look forward to sharing those with you, and we really hope that you stay engaged with us through the process to help us out.
So thank you. I guess we have another question on when the plan will be finished.
The plan right now for the project schedule is we're looking at spring 2021.
Okay. Well, most excellent. Yes, let me just backtrack and say I'm really excited about that Happy Feet app. So I hope that you all will download the app or again, go to ActivateATL.com, our website, and share your thoughts about what you'd like to see in your parks. You are an important key to how we're going to develop the parks over the next 10 years. So please remember that message, and please take our survey.
Sarah, it looks like we have another question from Christian at Zoom.
Okay, can we get this question? A question from Christian. Are there specific plans for new mountain bike trails like Southside Park at other locations on the South Side? Would love to see more.
That's a great comment, Christian. And this is the kind of feedback that we want as part of this process. And not only do we want to hear from these meetings, but also see from the survey as well. So again, we encourage you to take the survey and participate and let us know and share it with your friends and networks as well. But yeah, the City of Atlanta is absolutely proud of that first amazing mountain bike trail within the City of Atlanta. So we look forward to hearing more from the community.
Okay, thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome.
And thank you to all of you who have submitted these great questions. We are so appreciative of your time and the voices that we've heard today. Remember, if we missed your question, please send it out our way through the email at activateatl@atlantagA.gov, and we will reach out to you. One more time, please, please, please fill out the survey, and maybe we can have a song for the next virtual meeting about filling out the survey. Activate-ATL.com. It'll only take 15 minutes, and it's only available through July 24th. If you complete this survey, you will be entered into a drawing for a limited edition ActivateATL t-shirt, and we will contact you by August 1st to let you know if you're a winner. As a reminder, we are holding 12 of these virtual meetings. This is the 8th, and so we have 4 more, and the last 2 will be in Spanish. We hope to see you at the next set of meetings, streaming on Monday, July 13th. You can attend either at 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. or 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. We will be highlighting Southeast Atlanta. Your opinion today will help us define the next 10 years here in Atlanta's park and recreation system. So thank you so much for working to activate ATL. Don't forget to tell your friends and family. Have a wonderful rest of your day and stay well, Atlanta.
Thank you.